Hello guys, Perseus1 here with my first guide on League of Legends. It's a jungle guide, by the way. So let's start with the jungle routes. I usually start with the wolves and then try to get a smiteless blue from my team, and then I can go for their red or my red, depending on the enemy jungler, if I can beat him or not. If you do this, you will be level 3 after the red, and well, you will have a red, so an early gank will probably succeed and give you the first blood. Yeah. So, but if you cannot get this smiteless blue because your team won't help you or anything, maybe you don't dare to do it, anything, just don't. Just start at blue, then do wolves, then do the raids, then do the golems. You should have your smite back or in a few seconds, and you can then do the red, and you will probably end up level 3, 4, I'm not sure, somewhere there, and a good opportunity to gank if you have enough health, or maybe you just want to keep farming. The next thing I want to talk with you about is ganking. Ganking is mostly seen as pretty easy, pretty basic, but it's not. If the enemy has wards or anything, maybe they have flash or I don't know, some kind of escape tools or abilities, they might get away. So what you want to do is you want to ask the lane you're gonna gank if the enemy does have wards and where they stand. If they know, this can be very useful information because you might get around them, they might want to kill them for you, or you just know you won't have to gank unless you have a champion which is really fast or has something like a Nocturne ultimate. So if you know there's a ward and you don't have really quick champion, then just don't try it because it will probably fail. Then if you want a successful gank, try to gank them from behind, because if they don't see it coming, and then they won't be able to react in time, and you will just get like full damage done and probably be able to lock them up and shut them down, kill them. Then I want to tell you to save your gap closers. If you can get in there from behind, and you can like already do damage, and they flash out, you might not have your gap closer anymore because you just use it. So don't do that. Try to save it for if they flash or use any escape tools. You can use your gap closers to get after them and still kill them with them having to waste their flash or anything like that. Then one of the last things you have to think about is the role you play. It's really important for ganking. If you are a supportive jungler, you should try to give your lane the kill, because they will probably be able to carry the game more than you, because you're the support and they are probably AP carry, bruiser, or AD carry or something like that. So try to give them the kill. If you are a champion which can carry the game, something like Nocturne or Hecarim, I don't know, you can take the kill, because this will just make you stronger, more useful in team fights, and it will also make you more useful in the jungler and ganks that come later. And then there is of course the items. Items are very important, also especially as a jungler, and especially the items you start with are very important. Hunter's Machete is recommended these days, and it's just probably the best item you can start with as a jungler. Just Hunter's Machete and 5 pots, and you'll probably able to kill all the jungle. The reason for building this Hunter's Machete is because it just enables you to kill the jungle faster, and the things you can build from it are just great items for as well jungling as well helping your team or dealing more damage, can tanky, anything. So the first thing you can build from it is Madrid's Razors, which you can then build into the Regal's Lantern, This item is very useful in well, AD champions, which use mostly basic attacks, because they will deal a lot more damage on their basic attacks against uh, minions or jungle creeps, because it will just give them a 25% chance on a hit of 500. So this will really help your jungle clearing times. Um, the next thing you can build from the Hunter's Machete is the Spirit Stone, and from the Spirit Stone you can build Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, Spirit of the Ancient Golem, and the Spirit of the Lizard Elder. These items are all good items for jungling and, well, just for jungle champions. Though myself, I do not really like the Spirit of the Spectral Wraiths, because in my opinion it doesn't really add enough stats to your champion. But I can understand you think it might come in handy because you're an AP caster in the jungle, and you will really need that cooldown reduction on your smite, because you're very dependent on your abilities, and if you can just use that smite, it will give you faster clearing times, and it will just cost you less mana. So yeah, I can understand this item can be useful in your opinion. The next item is the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. This item is a very good item in my opinion. It gives you tenacity, I mean, not Tennessee. It gives you health and it gives you armor. So yeah, that's just very nice for tanky junglers. And the tenacity gives you the possibility to buy different boots than Mercury threats against an enemy with a lot of crowd control. So you might want to go for different boots, like boots of mobility or penetration or attack speed, whatever. So the next item, the last item which you can build from the Spirit Stone, is the Spirit of the Lizard Elder. This item is very useful. I mostly buy it on every AD champion I jungle, like a lot of AD caster champions mostly, because it gives you true damage on any damage you deal. So AoE damage from abilities and stuff, it will also deal true damage on that. So that's just great for team fights, and it's great for clearing the jungle faster, and it's great for if enemies have built a lot of armor, because it will just deal some true damage to them. Compare this to the Wriggles. You might need the armor and the lifesteal from the Wriggles. And with the Wriggles you can of course help your team ward, which is very useful. So if you need to help your team ward and you don't want to buy another lifesteal item besides your jungle item, then go for Wriggles. If you are planning on buying another lifesteal item anyways and your team is warding good and you can just buy some loose wards anyways, you can go for the Spirit of the Lizard Elder. This is also a great item. So one of the last things I want to tell you about is masteries and runes. But I'll first do the map awareness, because I want to tell you last about the masteries and runes. So about the map awareness, Wriggle's Lantern is of course very good for this, because you can place your own ward for free. So try to ward a bit for your team if possible. This counts of course for every lane, but because you're constantly roaming, this is even more important if you are a jungler. What you should also do as a jungler is try to time the buff respawns. This is not very hard, just try it a few times. Maybe put on the timestamps in the chat so you can see whenever you killed one, or when your team killed one. Just say like blue or something, and just scroll back and see like, okay, in 5 minutes it will spawn. If it's a dragon, okay, in 6 minutes. If it's Baron, okay, in 7 minutes it will spawn. And try to keep up with those things. Um, so another thing that's really important is timing the first dragon you can do. You know, this is just experimenting, depending on how good you're doing, how your team is doing. But mostly you probably can do it at 10 minutes if your support has warded it very well. Uh, if your support has warded it, no, it doesn't have to be very well. Just if you warded it and you know they won't be coming, or you just killed the bot lane or something like that, you can mostly grab this free dragon at 10 minutes, um, which is really useful, of course. Um, and then the last thing about this, about the global stuff, is saving your smite, like for buffs, for dragons, objectives, and stuff like that. It is really important you save that smite for the last moment. So if the enemy might want to steal it, you can just smite it. And yeah, so that's really for just securing that buff or objective. So first I'll show you my runes. This is for the AP jungler. Um, I use just the usual glyphs, ability power per level, usual quintessences, flat ability power, and the usual marks, magic penetration marks, all flat of course. And then, if you don't have this yet, I usually take this anyway. Um, this greater seals of armor, 9 of them, just fill it up with greater seals of armor, because you really need these in jungle. It will really improve your early game. You won't die as quickly against creeps or jungle creeps, or even in ganks. Basic attacks will do less damage. Same counts for my AD page, but I usually already have these in my AD page. So yeah, try to fit these seals in always, and if you already have that usually, then that's just great. Um, I take also magic resistance, glyphs, attack damage, quintessences, and armor penetration marks for my AD page. So time for the masteries. So I want to start with this page. This is what I use for my AP jungling. It's called Elise because the first AP jungle I played with the new pages was Elise. Anyways, I take these because you really want this. There's no jungle champion uh, which uses AP and but no mana, so you just want these because they will all jungle champions which are AP based will have mana, so you really want meditation and expanded mind. Then what you also want to take is this runic affinity. You pretty much always want this in your mastery page if you're jungling, because it will extend the buff duration by 20%, and that is very useful, especially in the in the start of the game. It is just very useful. Then this is just the usual AP mastery page, I guess. Um, uh, Spell sword, that's like really handy because your basic attacks will deal more damage based on your AP. So also for the jungle, very necessary. No, not necessary, but very handy. No, of course, and just this normal shit for AP. Then we have the Zen jungle, which is pretty much the same. Take the points in meditation and expanded mind, and again runic affinity. So this is for junglers which use AP and are AD based. So well, just mostly the usual stuff as in the offensive page for AD champions. Cooldown reduction is added because I had to put some extra points in this to get to the 21 for this, and extra damage taken, of course. The next one is Hecarim. My Hecarim page. Yeah, I use this on Cal too sometimes. Um, the 9 points in defense for the extra health and reduced damage and doing damage back to minions and monsters. Also some extra armor, but that was mostly because I needed that 8 points in this first stuff. Anyways, I take only 1 point in this because Hecarim isn't that mana hungry and you mostly get that first you actually always get that first blue buff, and after that first blue buff, he's not very mana hungry anymore. Um, if you are, try to buy. I cannot come up with the name. Well, the Iceborne Gauntlet. Try to start something of the Iceborne Gauntlet because that will give you extra mana. So then the cooldown reduction on your summoner spells. Yeah, just very handy. Again, the Runic Affinity. This is for some extra gold, which is always nice. Extra experience will you will more easily keep up with your team in level and with the enemy in level um, because of this. Well, the cooldown reduction, of course, is very nice on Hecarim always, and the increased movement speed. Yeah, after all, you're playing in the jungle, and the movement speed is just really handy to move around the map, and especially on Hecarim, um, this is really what you want. Then there's this Lycian page. Yeah, mostly just usually defensive, pretty much all defensive stuff you can think about. Um, just this for the jungling, dealing damage back and reduce damage, and then the attack speed. Well, yeah, these attack damage and armor penetration. So, no, this is by the way for if you might want to dive a tower in your gank or anyways, you'll get less damage from the tower. It's always good. Evelyn, no, I use Evelyn, but in the jungle I use the Elise page on Evelyn. And then there's only this one. This is the last one. Um, I used this for Kha'Zix. It's a while ago. Um, well, you want this meditation and expanded mind, of course, because you want to spam your abilities. You're an AD caster. So on any AD caster this is a viable one. Just don't take this point, just try to stick it in somewhere else. I don't know why I have this point in here. Runic Affinity, of course, again. Um, attack speed, pretty much useless on Kha'Zix, so take the cooldown reduction, it's really nice. Especially because you're an AD caster and just want to spam those abilities. Extra damage and just the normal stuff for an AD caster, I think. So, well, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. This was my first video, as you might know. So please subscribe, and I hope you liked it. See you guys.